Monday Nitro 211, October 4th, 1999. Goldberg arrives in a rental sedan, and as you noted, the only good thing on these shows, Sid.
Not just Sid. Sneaky Sid.
Mm-hmm. Sid is tiptoeing through the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like Scooby-Doo or something.
Like the Pink Panther.
Pink Panther.
Yeah.
He takes note of Bill Goldberg's parking spot, and as he stands there, if you look close and listen and concentrate, you can actually hear the gears grinding in his giant head.
Yes.
He has a cunning plan.
I love it because dumb people have to think what they say what they think. 22.
He did say that.
22.
22.
What I loved about this is everyone shows up in limos and Humvees.
Yes.
Goldberg just happened to show up in a piece of shit car. What a
It was
fucking
better than
coincidence.
Sid's piece of shit car.
A lot.
Goldberg had an average sedan.
I want to say it was Cadillac.
All right.
Might have been.
Close
It
enough.
was a four-door. It was not a limo. It was not a stretch Hummer. It was much better than Sid's car last week. Did I not say last week that Dean Malenko and Rey Mysterio just wrestle on every show?
Yes. Yes, you did.
Dean Malenko and Rey Mysterio wrestle on every show, and they wrestled on this show, and it was fun.
Yeah, let's talk about how Ray comes out and they note, there are no other filthy animals in attendance tonight.
Thank you.
Really? Okay. No, I wonder why they're not here tonight. That's weird.
That's strange.
So during this match is going on, and they just casually announce, "Oh, by the way, what did they say? It wasn't we've heard, but we've been made aware that there's a new cruiserweight champion. It's Psychosis."
So, the Cruiserweight champion was Lenny Lane. Standards and practices put the kibosh on the gimmick. And so they just gave the belt to Psychosis and claimed he won. It's a phantom title change.
Did not know that.
Yes.
I would have thought they took the belt off Lenny Lane because he was horrible.
Well, they would have just pinned him then. Be a better idea.
All right.
So doing this fucking match, Shane Douglas comes down. I'm not making up this fucking stupid finish.
Forgot about this.
They're having a fun match. Shane Douglas comes down. He grabs the referee. He throws the referee's ass out of the ring. He attacks Ray, grabs a chain. Saturn runs down, takes the chain away from him. Saturn then grabs the chain and waffles Ray. They leave. Shane Douglas grabs the referee that he threw out of the fucking ring. He throws him back into the ring. The ref just sees Ray and the sharpshooter unconscious and calls for the bell. You'll never guess who this fucking referee was.
Nick Patrick?
Nick fucking Patrick. You know what? He is the worst referee in the history of wrestling. You want to know why? Because he's fucking terrible in storyline, and he's fucking terrible in real life. He fucked up the finish of the biggest match they ever did in their history. He fucks everything up. He's out of position. He doesn't know what's up. And in storyline, he's a fucking idiot. So, he gets the prize. Nick Patrick, the worst referee of all time.
Now here's where it gets good. Dean is supposed to look at the big screen to see what took place, the cheating that ensued. Dean is watching the big screen, but he's watching the camera that's on the back of his head on the big screen for about an 8 count before they finally start playing the replay. And it shows that, in fact, Saturn, on purpose, used the chain. And he was upset because they cheated.
Poor production values here in WCW. Disco Inferno versus Psychosis. So they're doing the entrances, and I'm getting up. I'm getting a drink of water, whatever. And I hear the announcers talking, and I immediately drop what I'm doing, go back and rewind to write down this announcement word for word. I feel like it's a satanic scroll I'm reading or something. This has been an exciting week, an exciting weekend for WCW. World Championship Wrestling this past weekend signed 2 of the most creative men in professional wrestling today. We are very happy to announce that Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara were recently signed to be a part of the WCW creative team. He went on to explain you could go online and chat with Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara about their new positions.
Yep.
Did anyone, and I do mean anyone at home, know who Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara were?
Well, he said that we probably knew all about it. That's what he said.
I asked my question again.
That's what he fucking
You, Brian,
said.
as someone who wrote a book on the death of this company.
No, nobody gave a shit. Of course not.
They are not even on the show yet, and we are already having to deal with repeated announcements stroking their egos.
Yes.
This is gonna suck.
Yes.
The match is fun. Psychosis misses the Tijuana Jam. Disco is the Chartbuster. He wins the match. He's the Cruiserweight title.
So Psychosis loses his fucking mask, is handed a title, and then is pinned the next week on the show. Now, I will actually give WCW the benefit of the doubt here. It was not their idea to unmask the guy, and it was not their idea that Lenny and Lodi would be taken off TV. But it is funny that this fucking guy loses his mask, and the follow-up is he's handed a title, and then he loses it the very next week on Nitro. You couldn't even give the guy a little bit of a push? A couple weeks, maybe?
So, what was that?
I have no idea. You tell me.
Weird, strange noise came out of my throat just there. So, Disco Inferno and Psychosis while they're wrestling. The other thing I want to point out is I had texts from people at Raw who were... I was not there, but they wanted to let me know that wrestling fans remain smelly and fat. So, I'm watching this here match with Disco and Psychosis, and there's a really, really hot woman in the middle of the front row.
Yes.
And I think, what is she doing there? Something is up. I knew that this is not a wrestling fan. To be continued. Sid is on the phone, tells someone to come to backstage parking at Kemper Arena and spot 22.
And a little, he had the yellow pages open.
He did.
This time. For you youngsters, that's where you used to look up phone numbers.
He is so excited.
I would like to think it's the same phone book Bill was using last week in another city.
Probably.
The best part is he's all excited about this, and then some dude runs in and goes, "Sid, you're on." And he rushes.
Yeah.
"Oh, man, I can't be late, sir. I must get to the ring for my segment."
So the outsiders are in the crowd.
This was the dumbest fucking bullshit I've ever seen.
They come down the
These two
stairs.
fucking idiots.
They're double fisting beers. They've been double fisting beers all night, it's clear. Mm-hmm. Heenan goes to interview them. He asks when we'll see them wrestle again. And I thought, Kevin Nash lost a match that he was supposed to never be seen again, right? At least he...
Yeah, and Nash says,
I'm retired.
With a big smile to tell you that this is bullshit.
Yes. Hall says, quote, yes. He points to Nash. He's working the retirement angle and nagging me to come back.
Yes.
And Heenan says, well, do you want to come back? It's a lot of fun. And Hall looks at him and says, have you been in the locker room? When it's fun again, I'll come back. And then Nash announces out of nowhere they're getting the band back together. They are so drunk.
This was a fucking burial 50 feet under of WCW. These guys just making a mockery of everything. Of course, the fans pop for them because it's Hall and Nash, so I'm sure they thought this was a giant success. Bobby is trying so hard, and they just fucking bury everything. Mm-hmm. And this is just the beginning.
And this, by the way, the spot they were sitting in the front row is just where that hot woman and her other hot friend happened to be.
The other,
well, they're dates.
Exactly.
The other one was a Nitro girl.
Oh, well, there you go. This led to...
Vinny, hold on a second.
Yeah. Sure.
Our role on the show is to be fair.
Okay.
Okay? Mm-hmm. When I saw Sid versus Bryan Adams on the docket,
yes,
I was like, I'm quitting. Okay? This is the worst fucking match you could possibly put together.
It's way up there.
In 1999. And you know what? The bell fucking rang, and they did a high spot, and it was fucking fine.
Okay.
They ran a couple spots. Sid took a clothesline over the top rope to the floor. They didn't fuck anything up. Mm-hmm. It was totally fine.
This was, I was going to say, Brian, before you cut me off.
Well, you put your head in your hands and you look like you were about to slit your own throat.
Okay, I'm not... someone thought it was a good idea to book Bryan Adams and Sid in a match together, and they got lucky, and the match was watchable.
That's true. An idiot put the match together.
It's still... The fact that it turned out okay does not mean it was a good idea to put the match together.
Oh, it was a terrible idea.
Yes. So my face palm is to whoever put it together.
Did anybody else shriek when Bryan Adams pile drove Sid with his awful, awful pile driver?
No, I knew Sid would be safe.
Does Bryan Adams know that a pile driver is supposed to drop a guy in his head? He always throws him down sideways.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Their brawling was hysterically awful, but of course it always is. Other than that, Brian's right. They did not outright fuck anything up. Sid took the backwards bump over the ropes, landed on his feet, turned out okay. Adams hit a big giant suplex on Sid. Fun power match. Now, what did suck is that eventually, and of course, Charles Robinson's the ref. And
A bad finish, you say?
There was, in fact, a bad finish on a Nitro
Wow.
match, yeah. So Charles Robinson is Sid's hand-picked ref, and Rick Steiner's his hand-picked buddy. So Steiner just comes out and starts fighting with Adams, and the ref doesn't care. And the reason they just did this was because Sid wanted to hit a powerbomb, but Bryan Adams is big, and so they sent Steiner out there to assist him and just make sure Adams got up and down okay. So they cut to the outsiders who are booing this, by the way.
Sid's music is terrible. What is that? It's horrible.
Goldberg versus Jerry Flynn. Goldberg's doing his entrance.
This was one of the rare good things on the show because it's a fun, easy storyline. Jimmy Hart has a bunch of geeks, and they all want to beat Goldberg. And every week there's a different geek who tries and fails. And he cut this promo saying, Goldberg, you ain't a bowling ball that's going to run through my men like they're bowling pins. Jerry Flynn, you will fall to Jerry Flynn. And he's like serious about it.
Oh, yeah. He thought he had him.
So then they go backstage and there's Doug Dillinger and all of the numbskull security geeks at the door of Goldberg. His music plays and you just hear a, because Goldberg's headbutted the door or something stupid. He's a caveman. Door opens and he starts coming out. He starts walking in the ring. They're playing his music. And suddenly, Sid appears in the background. And he begins screaming at Goldberg during his entrance. Goldberg! I'm gonna get ya! Or whatever the fuck he's yelling.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Goldberg is trying so hard not to laugh at this fucking idiot. Screaming like a fucking Sasquatch, all this bullshit. And Sid's just yelling at the guy. Storyline is Goldberg can't touch him until the pay-per-view. So Sid's being Sid. But he's an idiot.
Sid was the old man yelling at kids to get off his lawn.
Fucking hilarious.
Or we're like, get on my lawn.
And Goldberg goes to the ring and kills the shit out of Flynn.
Yes, he did.
My favorite part here was when, as he's firing up, Goldberg is, he reaches out and does the goozle. And Flynn sells it for a second, but then grabs his arm and goes for a triangle. And Goldberg, he tried to do the powerbomb spot, but Flynn's a big, big dude. And Goldberg did not get him up very high, but he made up for it by slamming him down so hard. Just tried to break the ring with Flynn's body.
I love when he was selling and then he made his comeback and the announcer screamed, "You can't hurt Goldberg." And I thought, you know what? There is only one man who can hurt Goldberg. And it's Goldberg.
Yeah.
He punches his arm through that fucking window and slices his arm up. He tried to spear Chronic and hit the post. Hit his head on the post.
I forgot about that one.
There are so many times he fucking killed himself. But nobody else could hurt Goldberg.
No.
He headbutted that locker and then forgot his promo on Raw. The only man that can hurt Goldberg is Goldberg.
Bled Hardway on a promo.
So, spear, jackhammer win. People are jumping up and down for this win over Jerry Flynn.
It didn't matter who
It's
it was.
Goldberg.
Vinny. It was Goldberg killing these
And all I
fools.
can think was, remember back in the day, and by back in the day I mean a century or more of pro wrestling, when the guys who got the biggest reactions would then go on to get the most wins?
Yeah.
That was fun. Wrestling used to be cool. So Goldberg cuts his promo.
It's a great promo. Goldberg
I forgot what a great promo Bill
He's
is.
not a good talker, but like he's the best Goldberg promo that there could be. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, he's totally authentic.
You don't want him to be out there
He doesn't have catchphrases. I guess
Eloquent.
you're next, but no.
You don't want him to be an orator.
He's not telling stories. He has no fables.
You want him to be just a big, ugly dude.
He says, I'm going to kick your ass a Havoc. If you want, I'll
Yes.
kick your ass before then. I'm also getting my title back. And that's it.
They cut to Hall and Nash. They're making a mockery of everything.
Of course.
These two idiots.
So cool.
Berlin yells at Brad Armstrong in German. Armstrong gets all rednecky in his face.
We're in America. Speak English.
Speak English. Which Armstrong can barely speak. Gene interviews Harlem Heat.
You know what's great about this interview? This interview was supposed to be Harlem Heat challenging Knobs and Sags.
No, Knobs and Hugh Morris.
Hugh Morris, I'm
The
sorry.
Knobs Morris Express.
The Morris Knobs or whatever. Hugh Knobs. Anyway.
Humorous Knobs.
Humorous Knobs.
I don't know if I can
Fucking, that's a great name.
write that down
The
right
Hugh
now.
Knobs.
So they're supposed to go out there and they're supposed to
General Erection?
bury the humorous Knobs. And instead, as they're talking, the fans began to chant for the Wolfpack. Now, in 2018, if you're the fucking Revival and you're supposed to go out there and cut a promo on the B team and somebody starts chanting for Drew and Dolph, you can't just start cutting a promo on Drew and Dolph.
No.
Right.
These guys, the fans start chanting for the Wolfpack, so Booker fucking grabs a mic and cuts a promo on Hall and Nash.
Yes.
It was a good promo. Then Stevie cuts a promo on him, and then when they're done, they go back and they cut their promo on Hugh Morris and Brian Knobbs again. Professionals.
Yes.
Have you ever had neck bone,
Can't say that I have.
Brian? Okay. It must be good. Stevie Ray's always talking about it.
I don't know if it's the food.
I think you can
I better
boil it with food, and it will season the food.
I see. I'll look it up.
Yeah. So, anyway, the Humorous Knobs attack.
These fucking idiots. Mm-hmm. Knobbs hit Booker and Stevie.
So
Yes.
fucking hard.
Not only did he hit him so hard in the head with a chair, it was in the back of the fucking head.
Yeah.
He hit Stevie so hard in the back of the head that Stevie goes down and goes, ow!
Well,
This was not selling. Knobs, fuck you. You suck at your job.
Kevin Nash is
I
laughing
can't
his
tolerate
ass off at
this
concussions.
stupidity anymore. It's just stupid.
Worse than being overly violent, this fucking brawl went 5 minutes.
It went on forever.
Oh my god.
And then they follow up this forever brawl
yes.
with the fucking Nitro Girl search.
Kimberly and Spice, my favorite out there, to talk about the young Nitro Girl hopefuls. They explain one of last week's contestants, Jamie, is a young thing with a great smile and a hip hopper. That's about what Kimberly sounded like saying it.
You know, in WWE, if there was a segment that did terrible numbers, they would give up on it.
Sure.
Even if they didn't really give it a chance. These fucking idiots. This Nitro Girl segment dies every fucking week. And they just keep going. It's not like it's Roman Reigns, where selling a bunch of merch, selling some tickets to moms. It's the fucking Nitro Girl search. Where the fuck are we going with this? Well, we get Stacy Keibler.
Yes.
That's cool visually, but like,
I'll say.
it's not worth these fucking terrible segments. Just fucking hire her and put her on TV.
I do want to note here, as they're interviewing the two Nitro Girl finalists from Kansas City, one is named Lavina, and they show her doing all sorts of dancing. Then she explains she lives in Lawrence, works in Vegas, has been a physical therapist in Kansas City for years. Mm-hmm. I rewound that just to make sure I got all that right. Can only imagine what this physical therapist is doing on the side in Vegas for 3 years.
It's well traveled.
I guess so.
Is that what they call it?
Goldberg goes to his car.
It's so quaint to see a car where you have a key. You put that key and you turn it.
Wacky.
Like, what the fuck?
It's crazy.
It's like a landline phone. So
Weirder.
he...
I have a landline phone.
That's true. Goldberg seems... It's not strange to him at all. There's a camera crew following him as he goes to his car.
No, Bill has no idea what's going on.
He opens his trunk. He puts his bag in the trunk. Opens his door with a key. Gets in. Drives away. Bye, Bill.
See ya.
Brad Armstrong versus Kurt Henig. The outsiders have left. The Wall punches Armstrong. Kurt wins it with a Henigplex.
Fair enough.
Rey Mysterio tells Billy Kidman, who we were told is not there, Billy, your match is up next.
Yeah.
Right.
Billy comes running out of the shower in his clothes,
Right.
Yeah.
followed by
That's weird.
Tori Wilson in a towel.
It's a weird relationship,
Well,
but it worked for him.
Yes, it did.
So maybe there's a lesson to all of you.
you can watch Tori. Or
Wear
you can
your
watch,
clothes in the shower.
Okay,
You can watch Tori. You can watch wrestling. What are you going to do?
true. Sid is told he needs to move his car. No, he says, you move my car.
You knew exactly where this was going.
Of course you did.
Of course he did.
But you know what's so great about it?
That made it great.
Like, Sid comes off as such a fucking dork.
Yes.
This is 2 weeks in a row that he's been thwarted by Goldberg.
He thwarted himself this week.
Yes, he's an idiot. But you know what? these people that are writing the show since Eric left, they're making a lot of stupid mistakes, but even they understand. Protect Goldberg at all costs.
Yes.
Goldberg here is like Steve Austin in the Vince McMahon feud. He always is victorious. Mm-hmm. You get a tiny little bit of heat on him, he gets it back. He humiliates the heel left, right, up, down. If this were Raw, of course it would be Goldberg's car destroyed.
Yeah.
Sure.
Goldberg would have had his car destroyed for 2 weeks. Then they would have gone to the pay-per-view and Sid probably would have beaten the guy. These fucking guys understand he's the hero. He always wins. You rarely, if ever, get any sort of heat on him.
Billy Kidman versus Juventud Guerrera.
I don't want to accuse anybody of doing anything, but Juventud was altered.
He was juicy.
Oh, I'll say.
So the match isn't good. The crowd doesn't care. The announcers are just making shower jokes.
I think he put
The
tequila
women
in his
loved
juicy.
Kidman.
All right.
You want to know why?
He was in the shower?
Because Tori wants Kidman.
Sure.
So now the women want Kidman.
I see.
It's fascinating. The women never ever scream for Billy Kidman. All of a sudden, for 2 weeks, he's with Tori, and now the women are like, "Fuck, he's hot."
Yes.
And then Hoovy debuts the fucking juicy elbow.
Yep.
Was this before Rock made the comment,
Same night.
or did Rock make the comment first? Who did what as a response to the other guy?
It absolutely had to be Hoovy seeing Rock. There's no way Rock was backstage watching a Juventud Guerrera
Well, he
match.
wasn't watching it, but I mean, I'm sure that each side was watching the other side's TV. So someone could have easily come up to Rock and said, "This fucking guy stole the people's elbow," or Hoovy heard his name and decided he was going to pay tribute to The Rock. I don't know who did what, but clearly one was a response to the other.
So they do a bunch of stuff. Psychosis is out there doing stuff. Somebody else. Ray comes out. Wasn't there another person on Hoovy's side I didn't write down? Whatever. Ray, who is there to be Kidman's friend, distracts the ref so Psychosis can punch Kidman in the balls, and then Hoovy hits a Hoovy driver for the win. It's
Yeah.
a stupid, dumb match.
It went too long. It made the ref look dumb. It made the babyface look dumb.
It made Ray look
It made everybody look dumb.
beyond idiotic.
And then the babyface just cleared the ring afterwards.
Yep, didn't care.
So why didn't you just let him win?
I don't know. Moses is the WCW parking attendant. He was on last week's show, too.
I love this.
Moses...
There's no subtlety. There's no mystery.
No.
He parks in slot 22.
He does, and he gets out muttering about how Sid always treats him bad.
Classic.
He had... I forget if I mentioned this earlier or not, but they were in Kemper Arena. It was the Bret Hart versus Chris Benoit Owen Hart tribute match.
Finally, something good. Even though on this show, I was like, did it have to be on this show?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Harley Race does ring announcing. God bless him. He was terrible.
He's not a ring announcer.
No.
But he said it meant more to him to do this than 99.9% of all of the other,
Accolades.
thank you, accolades
Yes.
that he'd had in his career.
Yes. So they had an excellent pro wrestling match that didn't fit on this show at all. Honestly.
No, but you know what? By the end, they got into it.
No, I didn't mean... I just meant it was totally different
It
than
took
everything
20
else.
minutes.
It took 20-some minutes, and then
Yes.
they built it slowly without having really... There was no heel or babyface in this match, but the intensity and the volume of the moves got higher throughout the match, and when guys tried moves the second time, they didn't work. So when Bret tried his backbreaker the first time, it worked. When he tried it the second time, Benoit flipped it over and hit a very scary tombstone. So they're having this very, very good wrestling match. Like I say, it goes 23 minutes. And after both guys have tried their finishers and reversed their finishers, Benoit goes to the crossface. Bret turns it into a single leg takedown. And then from the guard, basically, turns it into a sharpshooter for the win. It was awesome. Everyone goes crazy. The biggest thing about this match is it had a reaction that you almost never see for American wrestling at any point, in any company. And that it was the Japanese crowd reaction where it's not silence like they're not into it. It is quiet respect.
They were watching the match.
They were watching the match, and when something cool happened, they would get into it right away and quiet down and start watching again.
They looked like they were killing each other, but they'd never touch each other.
No.
Slow build.
Very slow.
Sold exactly enough. There was no overselling. There was no underselling.
No.
Made it feel like it was real, even though you knew it wasn't real. And
Made you feel like it was important.
you know what's amazing is they just happened to book the Kemper Arena right before Vince Russo showed up. Because
Thank God.
if they'd been in the Kemper Arena next week or the week after, I don't know for sure, but my guess is that Vince Russo okaying 30 minutes of wrestling was unlikely to happen.
Yeah.
So like this was the perfect time to be able to do this match. Actually, on the show.
At the risk of being flamed, I didn't remember this as this wasn't the classic that I remembered it as. It was slow and plodding, and as soon as they got to the superplex spot, that's when the crowd finally popped and got into it. And the last few minutes were very, very good. It wasn't a bad match by any stretch, but
The bar has been raised.
Oh, fair enough.
We watched a New Japan show on Sunday that had at least 2 or 3 matches better than this.
Yes, that's true.
When it's this rewatching this with 2018 eyes doesn't feel revolutionary. It feels like a very easy 4-star match. But it's 2018. There's 4-star matches all over the world every weekend. So there's that. The other part of it is, if we're going to be totally honest, part of the appeal of this match is that it's 2 guys paying tribute for their fallen friend.
Yes.
And I don't want to feel sympathy for Chris Benoit in 2018.
That's fair.
So it's hard to get into it in the match for that reason. But it was a very good wrestling match. Hugs all around. The announcers are choking up as they're talking about it and they go to commercial. So it was certainly a win. Gene interviews Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan.
This was awesome.
I'm not going to quote it.
Some people hated this. Like Dave hated this.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know. I thought it was great.
It's Ric Flair talking about how great Hulk Hogan is, and
Weird.
Hulk Hogan talking about how great Ric Flair is.
So weird.
It was awesome. It was so awesome. Flair says, I'm going to say my prayers, I'm going to take my vitamins, and for the first time in my life, I'm skipping the bar. And Hogan says, that's a lie. But they kept going on. Flair's going to show me how to do that figure 4. I'm going to crunch some bones. It was great.
Yeah, he's going to teach him how to... First off, Flair not drinking till Halloween Havoc, I mean, that was hard to believe. Hogan being able to apply the figure 4 leg lock was impossible to believe.
Sid goes to the parking lot where spot 22 is empty. Ha ha, he says. My cunning plan is unfolding.
I've got him now.
I got him now, he says.
I got him now.
I hope Goldberg and Sid feud for like 10 years.
I got him now, and he rubbed his hands together like this.
He should have had a handlebar mustache to
and
twirl.
twirled it. Yes.
Dallas Page and Buff Bagwell had a 4-minute TV match. Page grabbed the ropes to block the blockbuster. He missed one cutter. He hit it the second time, and he won.
I liked the finish. The rest of the match was just there.
It was a match.
Bagwell did the job where he just lay in your back because he's pissed off that he had to lose.
I like the
lays
counter.
there.
The counter to the blockbuster that Page did. He held onto the ropes and didn't actually go down and hit the mat. Mm-hmm. That was clever.
Main event of Sting and the Total Package versus Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair.
Match was fine until the finish.
The announcers are talking about a 7 promo that I don't remember seeing.
No, it wasn't on.
Weird. I don't know. So it's funny watching this because they get the heat on Flair. So it's Flair versus Sting and Luger, which we've seen 700,000 times in our lives. But this time Flair's supposed to be the good guy. But it's every Sting Flair Luger match you ever saw. He's every once in a while he'll do a fight back and tease for a tag and they'll cut him off. But otherwise he's getting press slammed. He's getting thrown off the top rope. He's throwing chops and Sting's no selling him.
Flair was probably completely baffled. He probably couldn't figure out what was going on in their match. Had to keep remembering that he's supposed to be the good guy.
That might be.
Hogan had this giant leg brace on. He couldn't even move.
Yeah.
His comeback is he stood in the middle of the ring. It's like, this is what you're supposed to do, but he literally did it.
Yeah.
He stood in the middle of the ring and everybody ran at him and fell down.
My hero.
And then he actually hit the ropes. I don't even know how. He hit the ropes and he did the big double clothesline spot. Mm-hmm. And then out comes DDP. The ref is distracted for the 50th time on this fucking show. There's so much convoluted bullshit.
Yes.
That all of a sudden, Luger is racking DDP.
On accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the story. He accidentally put a man in the torture rack.
Accidentally racked DDP.
Yeah.
You can look at nothing but this accidental rack. And then meanwhile, Hogan leg drop Sting. I don't even know how they set up the finish.
I don't care.
All of a sudden, Hogan's just doing a leg drop on Sting and pinning him.
Stop right there.
Yes.
Pinning him, you say?
Yeah.
There was a pin in a Nitro main event.
That was astonishing.
Who cares about all the bullshit? A man got
care.
pinned.
You know why I care? I don't even know what happened.
I don't either. I don't.
If you're going to do one fucking pin on Nitro in 1999, at least, like, don't have so much bullshit going on that I don't even know what happened to get the pin.
Maybe that was by design.
All of a sudden, he's just laying there, and Hogan drops a leg. Did someone trip Sting? Did someone hit Sting with something? Did Sting have a stroke? What the fuck happened where all of a sudden he was down and Hogan gave him a leg drop?
I don't have...
This is the main event of Halloween Havoc.
Yes.
Dude.
I don't have an answer to any of those questions.
And meanwhile, Luger is accidentally racking Paige
Yeah.
inside the wrestling ring. And Nick Patrick is standing with his thumb up his ass. It's baffling. He's just looking at him like,
He may have asked Paige if he wanted to quit. I'm not sure.
fuck's going... Is this guy in the match? I don't fucking remember. And then Sting, the heel, is pinned by the babyface Hulk Hogan, who's teaming with the babyface Ric Flair, and fans pelt the ring with garbage. And there was a pinfall. That's when I knew this place was dead.
And then the best thing I've seen since the end of last week's show. Sid walks up to Moses. Hey, Moses, where's my car, man? Moses hands him the keys and says, spot 22. It says, 22. 22? Oh, man! Moses, you idiot! Jesus! Goldberg, where are you? Why me? Why me? And that is when I realized Sid is me.
He is!
This is my reaction.
He was totally you on this show.
Happens bad to me. Someone around me must be their fault, and I have to ask, why me?
When he just texted, everything okay?
Tell her I apologize.
Vinny about to kill himself.
No. I just got all excited. But
You know, it'd be best if next
you know
week
how loud
on
I am
Nitro-
every week?
If next week on Nitro, some fucking guy showed up with a piece of paper and Sid had to pay for the car,
Oh, the good payoff.
then he's you.
Literally.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, that did happen. So, yeah. Now, it's funny because, well, for obvious reasons, but Sid doesn't know why Goldberg did this to him. He thinks, Sid thinks he is innocent and Goldberg's just being mean.
Right. Goldberg had
That's
nothing,
awesome.
Goldberg had nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
He
Goldberg is
had
Goldberg's
completely
no
innocent.
clue. No clue
Goldberg
whatsoever.
literally just left the building. Sid fucked himself
Yes.
because he's a big dumb idiot.
Oh, God.
Classic.
I give the show a thumbs up just for that 10 seconds.
Fuck, it wasn't a thumbs up. Get out of here. That was the best thing on the show.
I will do my finish. You don't even need music. I can just do the finishes here.
I got the music anyway, so
may as well.
shut up.
The finishes on this show were submission after interference, clean pin for a championship, pin after interference with a crooked referee, pin despite interference, pin after interference, pin after a man's own partner distracted the referee, allowing him to be double teamed by interference, clean submission, clean pin, pin after botched interference.
What a bad show.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 interference finishes.
Wow, I can't even imagine. Wasn't there one last week that were all clean finishes, or was that Raw?
There was a Nitro 2 or 3 weeks ago that was like 7 out of 8 clean or something.
What happened? Well, that's it, everybody. These shows better improve, or I'm going to have to find something else to do. I can't take it much longer, so...
We have to finish these.
No, we don't have to do anything. I can do whatever I want.
I have a suggestion.
Yes, Vinny.
Delegate authority. I will review Raw, Craig will review Nitro, Brian, you can watch one or the other.
Well, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
I'll think about it. But now that you want to do it, I'm going to make everyone watch both.
It's shocking.
Yes. And hey, I may give up on SmackDown too. I heard tonight sucked. And I was already on the edge with SmackDown. So we'll see what happens there.
We've come this far. Why would we stop now?
Because it's worse now.
Are you watching the shows?
Understood.
When we started watching, it was good. Now it's bad.
I've stuck my whole arm into the fire. I've come so far, I'll just throw my whole body in.
Yeah, just jump the rest of the way in. God, these shows are bad.
I didn't say they weren't good.
They were wretched. All right, everyone, that's it. We'll try again next week. At least that WCW tournament's coming.
Oh yeah,
That'll turn it around.
Oh, yeah.
And so
And hey, Kurt Angle shows up soon. The Radicals jump ship soon. I'll keep on keeping on for a while.
Attaboy.
That said, we're out of time, everybody. Check out video.f4wonline.com. Lots of great stuff up there.
Go buy a Shoot Battle Royal winner t-shirt
That's right,
now.
Vinny's shirt, Shoot Battle Royal winner. You can go to f4wonline.com/shirts. That's
Cool.
the actual URL. or just go to whatever the hell.
Pro Wrestling Tees, search for Wrestling
Tees.
Observer. It's on there.
It's on the front page as well.
Sure.
So yeah, check out all the merch. Lots of great stuff. And that's it. We will talk to you again after a while.
Good night.
Adios.